Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered 12. I covered.
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Welcome to a Whale Watch Wednesday, boys and girls. It is the Bostonian versus the book. It's a Wednesday. Alex Kane will be joining us. He is Dave Sharapan. I'm Matt Perrault. We are live on YouTube at Boston versus the book. Same on X Twitter. Replayed on SportTrade TV, Sirius XM, channel 159. I got a feeling you and Alex Dave are going to talk a lot about Pittsburgh today. How are you? Welcome to the show, everybody.
Pirates or Pittsburgh?
Both.
Permanis?
The Pittsburgher did not look appetizing.
Yeah, for some people, it's a love or hate relationship with it, as it is like with our show. Right at the top. If you guys like it, please hit the like button right there. If you haven't subscribed, do that. We got to ask you at the beginning. Yes, it's Whale Watcher Wednesday. I wore the shirt. You wore the hat. Alex is bringing the goods. We'll talk to him.
He's bringing the hair.
Pittsburgh. Alex is bringing the hair every day. Forget about it. I mean, really, it's unbelievable. In person, I actually touched it just to run my hand through it real quick. I had to reach way up. Actually, told you he's 6'3". Yeah, so this is like a down week for the golf, but it's not really a down week for the Whale Watcher stuff. But
no,
that's what's fun about it. And we'll talk about a bunch of different things. Are we going to talk about college football today?
Yes, we got a lot of college football to talk about today.
Are we really?
Bad start for UCLA, and my goodness, their new head coach bombed today at his press conference.
What do you mean? I thought he nailed it. We're from LA, and we got a good football team.
Yeah, then he paused, and then said USC, and then he paused.
Yeah,
and then he paused, and he paused. That was as bad of an introduction as I've seen since Mike Shula became the new head coach of Alabama, and basically did the same thing. Stage fright, being nervous, not being prepared, not bringing anything written up to the podium. You gotta represent. Like, you gotta go there, and I get it. There's a gigantic, huge thing, going on, but I don't know. It's weird. Did I rearrange the gambling times getting bigger? No, I just the camera angles is a little bit down today. It's still the same. It's just a tighter shot, trying to make Dave and I look uniform. Just making a bit. Before we start anything else, I this just came like 10 minutes ago.
Yep.
This is from Raider Dad. I was just in Lids. They mentioned you might be interested in our mission. We take kids to Raider games, complimentary. 50 kids go to a Raider game every August. Let me know how we can connect. The annual preseason game, the One Nation Foundation. I've never heard of these guys. August 23rd, Raiders, Niners. Lids is involved.
Okay.
I mean, is Corbin out here talking about the show? Because if he is, I appreciate it.
I don't know.
I've never heard of that. That just
came
down.
A lot of people out there talking about the show.
I appreciate that.
Cool.
So yes,
really,
you can easily get in touch with us. There's multiple ways of getting in touch with us. If you're watching the show, you can text us 702-570-8255, or you can go to thebvbshow.com and fill out the form, the little box where you can write your message, pitch, whatever it might be. And who knows, maybe we might get involved with you guys. That would be cool. Taking kids to football games is a good idea, though.
Yeah.
Never heard of it, but that's cool. So that's cool. We got that.
Fantastic.
Alex Kane will be by here in about 10 minutes. We'll get to his thoughts on what's going on with SportTrade and football season. Big article on ESPN.com that came out. So some extra eyeballs on SportTrade and talking about different things that they are doing and heading towards football season. So we'll get into all of that. What happened last night, your boy Paul Skenes got handed his first loss of the year, although it's 5-0 Pirates right now.
Yes, it is.
In that game in the 6th inning. I need more runs. I'm on the over 8.5.
Could have used more runs last night, P-Roll.
Yes, that's true. 2-1 loss. Skenes 8 Ks, goes under his K prop, but he went 8 1/3, Dave. Are they going to let him go? Like, is a complete game on the table for Paul Skenes this season?
I think the pitch count is around 105. I think that's his number because he threw 104 last night. But he left losing a game for the first time in his big league career.
Mm-hmm.
And then they couldn't score in the ninth. I was so excited they let him go back out for the ninth. And it was almost a great play by Reynolds and left. A guy hustled out a double, and they ended up moving a runner, hitting to the right side, and scoring a run, which, listen, he pitched great.
He did.
His ERA's down to 1.85 or something like that. Didn't get the K prop. They finally got the K prop at 8.5. He ended up with 8.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the entire game. Like it was, like I was still in Pittsburgh. And the family just don't get it. They don't understand. They're like, what are you so involved with these Pirate games for? Like, well, one, I was just there and sat with some people in the box, and I'm back. I'm all in. I was all in anyway. But the Skenes Day is special, P. Roth. And there's
100%.
a lot of people that get involved in the betting, the content space, all that stuff.
So more bets have been made, according to our friend Ben Fox, who talked to BetMGM. More bets have been made for Paul Skenes to win the National League Cy Young than any other market in their book.
Mm-hmm.
They have more bets coming in on Skenes MVP at 3-1. Sorry, on Cy Young rather, on him winning the Cy Young. 3-1 odds on Paul Skenes. I get it. He's having an incredible year. Everyone's going to wonder how many innings are they going to allow him to pitch.
You're the only one wondering that.
What do you mean? Everyone's wondering that. If you're going to bet it, everyone's wondering that.
Nobody's wondering it.
You have to, if you're going to bet that, you have to take that into consideration. You can't just bet that blindly. Yes, he's getting shut down. Like it's
JPC the fourth. What are you saying that for right now?
Because
I don't want to hear that right now.
That's what you have to take into consideration when it comes to betting this, that he just isn't going to be allowed to pitch deep into September, and he'll probably miss 3 or 4 starts, you would think.
JC from KC said it was because I didn't wear my stash yesterday. I got it here. It won't stick anymore.
Thankfully.
I tried.
It's the universe telling you not to wear that thing on TV.
Damn it. I got to get more.
Yeah, it's not if, it's when he gets shut down.
Whitrock, we should have checked in with Whitrock from the pull-off. Did you see Whitrock posted the picture of him at the pull-off in Iowa? We needed a live on the ground report from the pull-off. Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Yes, we missed it, but
sure.
All right, maybe he is going to get shut down. I don't know. The next couple of weeks are going to dictate everything. It's a good game today. They're up 5-0 over the Cardinals. Beat the Cardinals. And beat the team.
Martin
right
Perez,
ahead.
like what is
coming
this?
Out to Arizona, then they're going to Houston. It's a big road trip coming up.
I need that bullpen of yours to blow it.
Blow what?
The lead.
Why?
I need 9 runs.
Relax.
Oh, top 7, 2 on, 2 out. I need a hit here from the Cardinals. 5-2 would be beautiful.
Hit refresh. Hold on.
Give me a 5-2, and then we got a chance here.
Oh man.
I got the over. Martin Perez has been good. Where did this come from?
He's pitching good today.
6 innings, 4 hits, no earned run, 5 walks. He's out. You're into the game. Already 1 inning down for your bullpen, though. Now we're
whatever you're looking at right now. Close it. It's causing a freeze.
Oh, interesting.
Whatever you're looking at, just close
ESPN.
that right now.
That's interesting. Yeah, we're going to address that this week.
Yeah.
We're trying.
ESPN not open.
It's ridiculous. I can't open that. I can't open that tab while I'm doing the show. It's ridiculous. Yeah, no runs came in, unfortunately. Iran. Yep, they got out of it. So 5-0 still. I may need 9 runs out of the Pirates here to get that over because the Cardinals bats are ice today. Just absolutely ice. Speaking of ice, the Yankees 0-3 against the Mets. The Mets walked Judge 4 times last night. They gave him the Barry Bonds treatment, and the Yankees lost 3-2. Mets win 3-2.
Yeah. Would you pitch to him?
Nope. Why would you?
0 chance. Like the Bonds treatment, forget it. Like he's not going to see pitches at all until they do something. And I don't know. I mean, Yankee fans, yesterday we did buyers, sellers, and different things for a couple different teams. Look at that. Explain that to people for what that
OPS from the cleanup spot this year, the 4th spot in the batting order. The Red Sox are the only team in the 900s. The Yankees are the only team in the 500s.
In fairness, it's 596, so it's almost 600, which is right by what Toronto is. So that's trouble. That's not good.
You have to be able to drive in runners. The Yankees, because Soto and Judge are 2-3. They don't have a 4-hole hitter in New York. That is horrific production from basically, if you go 1-2-3 in the top of the first inning, your second inning on, you're getting nothing out of that 4th spot. The Red Sox have been extremely productive out of that spot, best in baseball, which is kind of hard to believe, but the Yankees are the worst. It's one reason why these teams aren't really far apart with each other, and there's still actually a conversation going on right now. Do the Yankees go and add a bat? Like they have to.
I think they have to.
Because I know they're waiting for Stanton. Like every Yankee fan who you tell this to, I was on with your boy Dane Martinez, and we're talking about the Yankees, and he was like, the Yankees are fine. Like, what do you mean they're fine? It's like they have 58 wins. They have 58 wins. We're worried about April and May. Like if they don't win any more games, like what's 58 wins give you? Like you have to be able to win. You haven't won a series basically since May.
Right.
It's June, July. Your team, no, Yankees are fine. Yankees are fine. I'm like, okay, no one else thinks the Yankees are fine. Like Yankee fans, you could think your team is fine, but nobody else thinks the Yankees are fine. You're about to get swept by the Mets in the Subway Series today. Well, I mean, you have Cole on the mound, so you go ahead and
win today. No,
maybe they win today. We'll see. Lose 3-2 again. It's very possible. It's on the table. And I know it's like when Stanton comes back, everything changes. Okay, hamstrings are funky. And this injury he suffered, they literally said he's out for a while. Like, this is a serious hamstring injury for Mike Stanton. And who knows when the dude's going to come back. And when he does come back, he's one running down the base pass away from having it happen again.
Correct. Is it wonky or funky hamstrings?
Both.
Wonky and funky?
Yeah, because you don't know. Like, it's wonky because it happens to random people in baseball. It's not like a common injury. And then it's funky because one misstep when you come back and you're right back on the IL.
It's not like he's really good with the contact. I mean, he is all or nothing. And I know they need runs, but like they need somebody who can actually either hit doubles and like knock people in, induce I don't know. I think they have to get a bat. I was talking to friend Mike DeMurgis, he's a Yankee guy. I was talking to him a little bit last night about this, and between him and Moose, trying to get Moose to come back on the show. The Yankee fans disappear for a little while because they're struggling. The Yankee guys are trying to get Moose. You know I love you, but if you're watching the show, you got to reach out. We need you on the show to talk about, how you can fix the Yankees by this time next week.
They're hermit crabs. They're going in their shells. Just
whoa.
Come on. They're not going to come out. What are they going to say? What are Yankee fans going to say? Our team is
fine.
what?
They say they're fine.
They're fine. You're fine. Fine. Sure, you're fine. Yeah. All good. You're fine. Sure.
Yeah.
They know that if they don't make a run in the playoffs, that Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone are gone.
And
this is it.
Talking about them being gone for 15
I know, but this
years.
is it. Like, this is it.
Man.
This is, if they can't do it, this year, goodbye. Bye-bye. See you later.
Geez, Judge's first at bat to be a walk / hit by pitch was plus 310. Wow.
He walked 4 times. Yeah, they're in big trouble. Yankees are in trouble. If you look at the American League, I cannot wait to see how this all shakes out because I don't feel like I have a solid grasp on any of the wild card teams being
including the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean they're not in right now. So they got to get going themselves. They need help. I mean, they need to pitch better. Their bullpen is a disaster. Like they have got to go
get today.
Yes,
the game's coming up. The game's going to start in 25 minutes.
Team total over Red Sox, just like the first 2 games. It's 5.5. First 2 games over. This game over.
Game, getaway day over.
Yeah, team total. I mean, it's just the Rockies. Yeah, it's 10.5. Game probably goes over. but I like the Red Sox.
They got a good game pitching wise yesterday. The Red Sox did.
They did, but they scored 6 runs.
Right.
So it went over. It was 5.5 yesterday. It went over yesterday. So I think it goes over again today for the Red Sox, just with having that. So my gosh, 5-0 after 7. So it looks like that's going to be an under 5-0. Just get 5 runs in the first 2 innings. You should go over 8.5. That's just ridiculous. But it's on me not for betting the under. not trying to middle it as I was doing other things like you at the house. So I wasn't able to do that. So all right, it is a whale watch Wednesday. He is here, back from Philadelphia, from Pittsburgh. He is the one and only Alex Kane joining us here on a Whale Watch Wednesday. Alex, Matt, and Dave, how are you? You saw Dave in Pittsburgh. How was the trip?
What's up, gents? Am I coming through loud and clear?
You are.
Yes.
We got you.
I'm going to join you guys. SportTrade. Boom.
Look at that.
Oh, you got the away. I got the home uni on. This is good.
But more importantly,
you're covering
Dave,
up that. Oh, there it is.
I took my
Hey, you guys took 2 out of 3 out of us.
I was going to say.
In Pittsburgh, man.
Yeah, you didn't see that one coming. Like you didn't see me coming to Pittsburgh. That was exciting. I walked
That
in
was
and
great.
you were right there hanging out in the back like all the cool kids in the class. Me, you, David was there. That was fun. That was great.
Fantastic. You know, the other thing
how was your trip to Pittsburgh? Just sum it up. Like, did you enjoy it?
I will say this though before we get into that talking baseball. Here's another thing I didn't expect. Paul Skenes gives up 2 runs and loses. I think he's starting to realize that Pittsburgh is entering playoff mode, and he's like, "Wow, I could actually lose a baseball game giving up 2 runs." He's amazing. I love the Bucks, man. Like that's a team that I'm going to root for. But like, I think that was like him realizing, "Whoa, crap, I could pitch really well and we could still lose."
That wasn't on the rundown, Alex. Like you weren't coming on to bash the Pirates. I'm
not bashing the Pirates. How was the game, by the way? You went up and you sat with the owners, right, in the box.
I did.
Important?
I sat in the box. It was great. I sat with some Bet Rivers people, made a ton of connections, touched the flesh. I touched your hair for a minute. That was great. Takeaway quickly from the entire conference, 1, and 2. This thing that Shoots and Spanky and Billy are doing, because I think there's something there. Mm-hmm. Just not quite sure what it is, but at least it's something, right? Where at least I think we can all try to find some common ground. That's the way I see it. How about you?
Yeah, I think the theme of the show, or of the conference rather, the NCAA's National Council of
Gaming Legislators.
Yes, of legislators from gaming states or something like that.
There you go.
I think we're entering the next chapter of legalized online sports betting. And I think states are starting to realize that there's a lot of different products that their consumers in their states are using. And all of those products may or may not be regulated by them. And so I think there's a sort of a pause and sort of a recognition that there needs to be a pathway for smaller innovative companies to come into the market that may not be able to afford the $10 million or may not be able to pay a 40% or 35% tax rate. I think there was some model iGaming legislation stuff. That stuff doesn't really interest me at all. So I sort of back of class tuned out to that one. But yeah, the American Bettor's voice was very interesting to have, like Spanky and Billy Walters and Richard Shoots all on the stage at the same time. I think them getting Richard to be the CEO of this, given his work history and where he's been, is a brilliant move. He's someone I've leaned on and called privately on some issues that we've had at SportTrade over the past, and he's been like super helpful. So I'm really interested to see where that goes. I'm impressed by the board they've put together. Brianna's on the board. She started her own practice, but she's really heavy in the responsible gaming front. Brett Smiley, I think, is on there as well, and a couple of others really huge names. I think Allison McCoy is on there, and she's basically puts together Nickel G's every year, and she's also going to be putting together Bet Bash, and I certainly will be there. So yeah, really interested to see where that goes, and I think ultimately what will shake out is like we'll start to get little breadcrumbs here and there in certain states of, more fair way of legislating and regulating online sports betting.
Alex, what's your feel with the industry this summer? We had the news, obviously, with the Superbook closing 8 states. We had Betfred close in Ohio. We anticipate probably more states, Maryland, others to be closed. from Betfred as well. As a smaller operator who's trying to get the attention of some of these people who are in power as to, hey, you're making it more difficult for people like me to operate in these companies that have tried to come in, are now failing and having to leave the marketplace. What's your take on the overall health of the industry as we head towards football? Because closing now, we talked about it yesterday, it's kind of like, man, things must be really rough if you're closing in July knowing what's about to happen.
Yeah, I think, and we talked about this. This has been a recurring theme, right? We've talked about it each Wednesday, whether, Betway, Betfred, Superbook, Unibet. I think there's probably about 9 or 10 brands that have left the market. I was looking at something in Colorado. I think there was something like 23, and now there's 13 or so online brands. I think the really eye-opening thing for me in meeting with these legislators is that they haven't heard the story before, right? They're doing all these things, like gaming is one little thing. They want to get reelected. They've got all these things to sort of do. Gaming goes through and they're like, thumbs up, gaming went through, everything's a win. And now I think by going and engaging in some of these discussions, they're learning, oh man, the version of sports betting that I passed is, incredibly anti-competitive. This makes no sense. And like in 0 conversations that I had, did I speak to a legislator that said, no, we wanted it this way. We wanted it to be super, anti-competitive. Like they just didn't know, right? So I think they're doing great by just engaging and learning. And that's, I think, another benefit of this American Bettors Voice group is that bettors now have a voice. And every time you explain something that makes no sense, 0 times does a legislator say, no, I totally get what you're saying, and I totally wanted it to be that way. It's more like, well, where were you 3 years ago? And so now when we're starting to talk to states and explaining our story, we're saying, look, we want to amend your rules. We want to amend legislation in some of these states to give companies like Circa and like Prime and like some, innovative companies that in SportTrade, the chance to come into your market, because we're not going to compete with DraftKings. Like check it, you can put the product in their hand and be like, I've never seen something like this before. What's the tape? What's that about? Like all these sort of things. And that's exactly the point, right? You want more products in your market that can target more different consumers such that you have a healthy ecosystem. Because to your point, Matt, we may be heading towards a world where even in a state that has a handful of licenses that are open, because of the cost of those licenses, you as a consumer may only have, FanDuel, DraftKings, MGM, Caesars, ESPN. And it sounds like a lot when you think about it, but because of the limiting practices at some of these venues for customers that want to shop on price, that list gets whittled down by virtue of all the stuff that the guys at the American Bettors Voice talk about.
You had a tweet earlier this week that I found very interesting, and Linehan, friend of the show, he's been on, another Philly guy. Keep getting these Philly fans. It's unbelievable. I don't know how this keeps happening, but you're everywhere. You talked about how they have to be tied to a team in certain states. And yes, I told a lot of these people back when it started that this is not a good thing. I didn't think it was, because it legitimately keeps out smaller, innovative companies, i.e. SportTrade, and someone like yourself. Agree or disagree with that statement?
Totally agree with that statement.
Is there a way to not tether them together? Because North Carolina required it. They made a deal with the golf course that hosts a golf. Like, what is that? Why do you think they do it?
I think they do it because the way these gaming bills come to be is that there are stakeholders that are already very involved with the legislator from the lobbying perspective that then see a benefit for them to do it. And so the challenge that SportTrade has and Prime and Circa is balancing the realistic approach that it takes to get legislation through, which is a lot of time and effort and thus resources, versus the fact that if you don't do it, you end up getting these rule sets that, again, if you sat down a North Carolina legislator, you explained what was called the written designation agreement, which indeed was not in their initial law that Roy Cooper signed. I want to say, let's see, that was June of 2023. The governor signed a law that was open. Come apply, get your stuff together, make an application to the government. There's 11 of these licenses, and it's a merit-based system. In September of 23, the leagues got together again and lobbied during the budget process and actually changed the law, which was never signed by Roy Cooper, which is technically allowed. He never signed it, which is his way of saying, I'll let it go, but I don't endorse this. And that's how they were able to slip in this written designation agreement, which initially has priced out SportTrade. And now what we're doing is, that's a very business-friendly state to go back to the legislator and say, hey, let's expand the legal market. Don't you want to encourage competition? Don't you want to encourage companies to come to North Carolina, start a business in North Carolina, and grow the overall tax base, grow the amount of patrons that play in a regulated market? And there's zero legislators that will say no to that. It's just like the effort required to get in front of the right people and be ever present, such that when you have that opportunity, you strike and you get these 4 lines put in the existing law, and away you go. So it's definitely an effort thing.
Speaking of things you've tweeted, and a guy that we had on the show last week, your guy Jack goes out and shoots a 64 and qualifies for the U.S. Amateur. I mean, are you going to lose him to the tour? I mean, this guy, you mentioned he can play, but we didn't think Jack can play like this. He's playing in the U.S. Amateur.
Yeah, he's absolutely incredible. So this is how this happened. Like Monday afternoon, he pings a group of us and he goes, guys, I have epic news. And he sends a picture, which I ultimately, said, hey, Jack, can I put this on Twitter? This is awesome. And he said, yes. But it's like a written letter you get from the USGA saying, like, you are one of so few people that actually done this. He said it was a total stripe show. I think he said he had 8 birdies, 0 bogeys. He medaled, which means he finished first in the qualifier. Wow. We were slated as a group to play in the Bet Bash Scramble. Yeah. And I was going to go online and say, like, hey guys, like, I think SportTrade's got like a really good chance to win this. And I didn't. And good thing I didn't, because he may not, I don't know if he's going to be able to attend Bet Bash because he's got to prepare for that week. And there might be some time overlap, but we're joking like, hey, Jack, you could win the Bet Bash golf event by yourself. Like if he goes out and shoots 64 by himself at Valley High, which is Billy Walters' place, he might have just won by himself. And that could have been a fun side bet that we could have done anyhow. So, and he's just like such a nice guy. Like he's very, very humble, as I think you guys can tell. Yep. And he tells you that his dad can still beat him, which I think is true, which is scary. But he is like one heck of a player. I think he won events in college. He was roommates with Sepp Straka. He was the captain of the University of Georgia men's golf team. Like he is a real, I think he's like a +6 handicap.
Yeah, he mentioned that like in passing, like you just kind of said it. And then he did admit that he couldn't beat Dad. And Dad, if you're watching, Jack qualified for the US Amateur. He shot 64. Like we got him fired up. We got the brigade behind him. We got everybody. That was exciting stuff. I couldn't wait. Can't wait to see him again and tell him congrats. But if he has to miss Bet Bash, we all understand. Yes. That's fine. Yes. But you will not be missing Bet Bash. You will be here. Not be. What is your involvement with the whole thing, and how I mean, in addition to sitting down and having dinner or something with us, you're going to be doing what amongst Bet Bash?
So a couple things. First on the Jack Larkin comment, if you had said that to his dad, hey, he's playing in the U.S. Amateur, his dad may have replied by saying something like, I played in the U.S. Senior Open last year. So it's like when I this might be the best father-son duo on the globe. Like, if they enter the PNC father-son some way, shape, or form, like they're giving VJ and his son, rather, like a real run for the money. Like no doubt in my mind they could beat Charlie.
Wow.
Zero doubt in my mind that those two could beat those two. Just given how good, how good they both are. I think they're both like +5 or +6. In terms of Bet Bash, so we're going to be sponsoring the event. We're sponsoring the golf event. We're sponsoring the scavenger hunt. I've been working with Manny Maxbet on Spanky's team. He's brilliant in putting together all these insane clues. Of course, I will not participate in that event. So we'll have SportTrade sort of infused in the scavenger hunt in a cool way. And look, we hope at that point we're going to be releasing some new exciting information about, what the app's going to look like in the fall. Hopefully, maybe some new markets that we're going to be launching in come September. Meeting players, getting them signed up for the platform, especially players in those new states that we can't yet mention, but hopefully we're very, very close. And as I have like my fingers and toes crossed off camera here in terms of that we get approved. So yeah, then hanging out with you guys. Do you guys have a live stream during one of the seminar sessions?
We didn't qualify.
Didn't qualify. But are you guys going to be doing a show anyhow from there?
Yeah. We'll be on the air. Sure.
We'll
of course.
be on the air. We won't be there. We'll be on the air.
We'll be doing here.
Right. We'll be doing here most likely, but we'll be
Fantastic.
down there.
But we'll check you guys. Yeah. We'll have
Yeah.
people on, you guys down there and having fun and checking in. And if the weather stays like this, you guys are going to be ecstatic because we feel like the heat wave hit early. And now we're getting to be 85 degrees in the morning, 100 degrees during the day. It's doable. You won't fry.
Yeah, that's. I was warned that it was going to be 110. So
it will.
If it's going to be.
If
it's
going
to be 95, I'll take it.
Yeah, it'll be the highs will be close to. I mean, you're going out early in the morning, so you'll be fine. Just bring the sunscreen and SportTrade hats for everybody.
Right.
You'll probably be handing those out. What's that?
You're not playing?
I am not. No.
No.
I should be, but I don't think so.
Hey, you could take Jack Larkin's spot.
I am not taking Jack Larkin's spot. Are you kidding me? I can't even carry Jack's clubs. Although I would carry Jack's clubs,
right?
If he asked me to. That would be fun. I'd love to go, carry the clubs for somebody to shoot 64. The golf this week, Alex, it's the 3M Open. And I'm not going to lie, I haven't looked at one thing, not a thing. Because after the Open Championship in Xander, one, how was that and the action and the different things from the Open Championship? And two, what's it like? Tell the people what it's like for the book, for golf betting the week after the last major.
So one cool thing, I'll give it someone on our team a shout out, David Huffman. He's our COO. He's built a way to sort of visualize the positions that ultimately get taken on by our trading teams. And for golf, as you know, there's sort of huge positions. And then he has a way to sync the projected finishing score of each golfer. And so watching that on Sunday, early afternoon, late morning, and seeing Justin Rose rise to the top, and then ultimately Xander Schauffele, like to see, within minutes, hundreds of thousands of dollars changing hands is like really cool. And that's actually a really cool thing about the SportTrade app. We do that for each customer. So if you've ever been a golf bettor and you sort of have your bets out there and you're always sort of wondering like, how am I doing? And you sort of check the cash out value, like SportTrade distills that to one number. We call it your portfolio value. And that's just the live, expected value of every single bet that you've got going based on the new market price. So if you're long Xander and you bought Xander, and Xander makes a birdie, your portfolio turns green. He makes a bogey, your portfolio turns red. So seeing that in, multiples of what a normal bettor would bet from the trading team's perspective going into Sunday and through Sunday was pretty wild. Bettors did very well. I think bettors were like short Rose and long Lowry, long Schauffele. So that was a huge, huge win for them. This week, definitely lower volume. But we're back at it. Round scores, top 10, outrights, matchups. And I think we're 2 weeks away from having round matchups as well. And then I think we're going to be doing some Olympic golf.
Oh,
so that's going to be very cool. We were sort of joking, not to poke at Jack Larkin one more time, but if he somehow was placed on that team, he might have a decent chance of beating Wyndham Clark based on how bad Wyndham Clark's playing in the last 12 months.
What? Yeah, I was going to ask you about the Olympics because the opening ceremonies are on Friday. The rugby starts today. Like, how do you determine what your clients are going to look to fire on? I mean, it's a different type of sport, or in sports plural. The judging comes into play. We have international issues. We saw a Canadian judge or a Canadian coach already get chucked out for using a drone. So we already have a controversy going on involving the Olympics. How are you guys going to approach what's going to happen the next 2 weeks in France?
Well, how about what happened with the Argentina game today?
Right.
Can you imagine, Dave? You tie the game in the 16th minute of extra time, and an hour later they say, we're calling the goal back.
No.
And they threw things, and they were throwing things on the field, and it was bad. Like it was.
So they already ruled it a final, and then
came back and said
the guy was offside.
Situation, Alex. How do you grade that?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. And that's why I've sort of brought that up. In a lot of ways, some of these sports, the way they're handled in the Olympics is different.
Oh,
And so we're going to be doing tennis and golf, but for the most part, we're avoiding a lot of those crazy edge cases because we operate at such a low margin. We can't, like DraftKings will say, well, we took 100,000 in handle in this game. And as a function of what we took today, generally across all sports, it's a drop in the bucket. So you know what? Good PR opportunity. We're going to pay out both sides. SportTrade can't do that, right?
No.
Because for every bettor that's taking one side, like we're taking the other. And so, the margins are really, really thin. So that's exactly why we're sort of focusing on getting ready and having like a super solid offering across everything for NFL, as opposed to sort of going in depth for we might do some stuff for the Olympics, but it's going to be main sports for the most part.
Last one for me, sir. Olympic basketball. That's everybody's talking about. Are you going to do anything with the Olympic basketball? And I haven't looked at their schedule yet, but you can't wait to have somebody take 53.5 or whomever they play. It's going to be some ridiculous number in at least one of the games, right?
Yeah, and I think they lose a couple days ago, and they were like 40-odd point favorites.
Barely won. They
barely won.
LeBron saved South Sudan or something.
Yeah, LeBron scored 11 straight points for Team USA to survive.
Yeah.
I think watching some of these teams is going to be very interesting. So I think SportTrade's going to be in a lot of ways a spectator for most of these Olympic sports. I think we might do we might do some pregame basketball, but I think we've talked about this before. Like we know the bar of the customer expectation is so high that it's like you can dilute your brand by having crappy limits and crappy markets, but you really sort of like that's a means to the wrong end. Where we'd rather just say like go bet it somewhere else. We know all of our customers bet everywhere else, right? Our customers are the type of players that shop on price. So we'd rather say, hey, we're going to have, an experience on NFL that like, you may not even need another book, right? It's going to be that good. Let's focus on putting our eggs in that basket because, we're just going to be average at best if we do something for the Olympics. And like, that's just not what we want to be known for from our customers.
You guys can go and download the tape right now. It's available on iOS devices, soon to be available on Android as well. See every trade made on SportTrade in real time. You got you can take it all. The tape is very cool. David and I really enjoy doing that. We're going to have a lot of fun watching the tape as we head towards football season. Alex, thank you for the time. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week. We love you guys every Wednesday here with BVB. We appreciate the sport.
Awesome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. See you later.
SportTrade. Oh, nice hat. Sorry, I cut him off. Sorry.
You might as well have hit the stinger. There, you blasted him right out of it. Bam.
Didn't mean to do that.
I put the Phillies hat on just to give him a hat tip on the way out. Thanks for coming in.
There we go. Appreciate that.
Great.
Let me read you that story that he was referencing because it is pretty wild what happened today. So
what sport?
Soccer. A fan invasion in the opening match of the Olympic football tournament between Argentina and Morocco on Wednesday caused chaos, with Argentina eventually beaten 2-1 following a VAR review after a play was suspended with the score tied at 2-2. Argentina's Christian Medina scored deep in injury time to salvage what looked like a 2-2 draw, but the decision ruling out the goal was delivered about 2 hours after play was suspended when the teams reemerged on the pitch to finish the match in an empty stadium. There were images of some Argentinian players flinching when what appeared to be a flare was thrown on the field. Bottles and cups were strewn all over the field by the end. The Olympics website showed the match as, quote, interrupted. About an hour after the incident, organizers at the venue said the match was not officially over. Players were kept at the stadium to resume play. Video boards informed fans the match was suspended and they had to leave the stadium. The box score on the Olympics media website said there would be a video review of Medina's goal to check for possible offsides. Morocco had led the game 2-0 before Argentina came back. This is a mess.
Reason number 7.8 million why I'm glad I'm not in the book today and having to put this game or have to answer the questions about this game.
I mean, yikes.
A VAR review?
Yes.
After?
Video assisted replay. 2 hours. 2 hours after the goal was scored.
2 hours? 2 hours? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, bad. In a big way bad. So, yeah. Okay, from that type of football to real football, our football. Big Ten Media Days. I love what Oregon did. Oregon comes in here and does, I don't want to say the unthinkable, but they go ahead here in Indianapolis and say, we're going to bring a big old duck.
Big duck.
And we're going to stick the duck in downtown Indianapolis on the river.
Yep.
To announce our presence. One, where do you go to find a duck that big? Because my daughter is in love with this thing. We go to the duck store in Chatham, Mass every year. Mm-hmm. We all go buy ducks. It's one of her most highlight fun things to do every summer. She goes, Daddy, we going to the duck store. Yep, we're going to the duck store. And we go ahead and jump in. And this is a gigantic, huge duck on the river yesterday at Big Ten Football Media Days. You're a Big Ten guy. How does that get received?
I've seen that duck not dressed in the Oregon stuff in the river in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
yeah. There's a big, that duck almost looked exactly the same, like without the uniform. So they got it there. I love it. I mean, everybody's talking about it. We're talking about it. It's all over the place. It's all over social media. I mean, we glance at their schedule. It's just not easy schedule. I mean, but a duck store.
Yes. You mean more of a story about this? What do you mean? It's a duck store. You guys ever seen a store that sells rubber duckies?
Just rubber duckies?
Just rubber duckies.
Does Amanda know about this store?
Of course, everybody who goes to Cape Cod knows about this store. Everybody knows about this store. Every person that goes to Cape Cod who has little kids knows about the duck store.
Okay.
They sell big ducks, medium-sized ducks, little ducks, and baby ducks.
Ducklings.
All different prices. $3 for a little tiny one, like duck. $6, $7 for the medium-sized one, $12, $13 for a big one. I got Madeline's over there. She got a black and white skeleton Halloween one.
$13 for a big duck.
13 for a big duck. Yep.
Will, I didn't even say nothing.
$13 for a big duck. Yep.
Just want to see if Will's paying attention.
So we got that. Ryan Day said today that the Big Ten title is very important for the college football playoffs.
Think so?
This is a headline. This is like a headline story.
I'd rather hear Deshaun Foster talk about UCLA being in LA. What is this?
I don't know. It's a really weird headline. Ryan Day believes Big Ten. It's very important to go out there and win the Big Ten. Very important to win it, to go ahead and do this, to get win the Big Ten, because they are picked to win the Big Ten by the football media. They have
by the Big Ten media. They're picked by every media. They're picked to be number one. Like the Ohio State stuff has to stop. I mean, it's endless. It's nonstop. They're going to be great.
Big Ten preseason poll. Ohio State 21 first place votes.
Yes.
Oregon comes in with 6.
Of course.
Penn State comes in at 3rd. Michigan 4th. Iowa 5th. Being a Penn State guy, do you feel like a little bit of like a wait? How are you putting Oregon above Penn State, given what Penn State's got coming back, and you guys are a Big Ten team? You have no problem with you guys being behind Oregon?
Do you look at these polls?
No. They don't matter to me.
Never did. To me. I don't know. Do you guys look at them watching the show?
Kids do.
Give the poll. Give the poll.
Okay.
Do you put any stock in these preseason poll?
No.
Yes or no? I needed like a 90% no. I just want to see if 10% actually admit that they look at it or consider it.
Oh, everybody looks at it. How can you not look at it? Everybody looks at it. Yes, everybody looks at it. 100% everybody looks at it. They may not care, but they look at it.
Really?
It's like lists. It's like when someone does a top 10 list of the best pizza places in your city. You may not care, but you're going to read it. People just care.
Things to do. I really don't. I don't look at this stuff. I mean, I know no one in a room looks at it. No one in a book looks at it.
Right.
I mean, you read the preseason stuff, but you don't look at the polls. We have markets where people voting determine wins and losses for things of people betting. Like,
yep.
Thank goodness this is settled on the field. We're going to be in football season before you guys know it. A month away from today, 1 month, there will be football games being played, right? Week 0, August 24th.
Yep.
Thank goodness. All this talk of these polls and these media days and things. I don't know. Media predictions. Where would you put Penn State? I mean, would you put them ahead of Oregon? I don't know. Somehow they're ahead of Michigan. A lot of people are not going to be I can't wait to get that. Like, wow, how can you be ahead of Michigan? Well, I don't know. Is Michigan just going to have a smooth transition? Tomorrow we're going to have Brommelkamp on, talk about Iowa. They're 5th. That's what everybody should be talking about. Ohio State, and then 11 winnable games, T-Lo. Wow.
Whitrock doesn't like it. He wants to stay under the radar. Don't talk about Iowa. I'm close to betting over on Iowa's wins. I think there's a lot to be talking about. We're going to save it for tomorrow. We'll save it for tomorrow. We'll do that. We're doing Oregon today. We'll save that tomorrow because Oregon's win total is 10.5. This is Oregon's schedule. Because remember,
12 games?
A 12 game. Yeah, they're a 12 game schedule. This is they're picked right there to
pull.
Right. They're picked second over Penn State.
Right.
Here's their schedule. Idaho, Boise State at home. Back-to-back West Coast road games at Oregon State, at UCLA. Home for Michigan State and Ohio State. At Purdue, who was picked
They're just
last.
going to win both of those games?
Yes. At Purdue, who's picked last, by the way, in the Big Ten. Illinois at home. At Michigan.
Oh, they just go on the road and beat Michigan?
Nope. Don't think that's happening. Home for Maryland. At Wisconsin and home for Washington.
At Wisconsin in November?
November. Yep. It's in Michigan in November, too. I mean, you got 2 very cold weather games for Oregon. And Washington at home in a major rivalry game. Or
so
the thing that
they're playing Oregon State, but they're not in the same conference.
Well, here's what pisses me off, right? They saved the Oregon State-Oregon game, but they paid it. It's a non-conference game, so it goes on the September. That game's supposed to be played in the week after Thanksgiving. That's the Civil War. That's supposed to be
with them playing Washington that weekend. That'll be great.
Okay, but that's supposed to be like the 30th of November. That's supposed to be Oregon State, not Washington. So They kept the Civil War, but the Civil War is not there. Do you see 2 losses on that schedule?
Put that back up.
Okay.
They're losing. I mean, winning at Ohio State will be very difficult. Right? Well, they're playing Ohio State at home. Okay.
Yep. Ohio State at home, Michigan on the road.
I don't know. That's a tough game. At Michigan and at Wisconsin are tough games. And Washington at home is just an automatic. I mean, like, I don't know. That looks like not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, maybe 9, but like easies.
I mean, to me, it all comes down to how fast Dylan Gabriel gets adjusted to Oregon's offense. Because if Dylan Gabriel comes in and does Dylan Gabriel type stuff, Oregon can win the national championship.
How many games does Oregon win? Just type it. Type your number in the chat right now. Because it's either, I don't think it's 12. I don't think they're going undefeated.
Okay.
That would be a really tall task. I think people are going to put 11, 10, or 9.
I think the road game at Michigan is a big tester because if Michigan is not Michigan because of Harbaugh being gone and JJ McCarthy gone, and you're in a big transitional period for Michigan, if they're not Michigan and they're the defending champs and they've got this big, everybody's saying 9, 9, 9, 9, or 8, 10, 9, 9, 10.
I think it's 11, 10, or 9.
So everybody's going under. No, only Mikey's going over.
11 team. Good job, Mikey.
See,
yeah.
So this is my question, okay? Oregon
10.
gets beat by teams that are tougher in the trenches. It will take Oregon a year or 2 to adjust to the Big Ten. That's my question. Because that's why I'm surprised Oregon is picked second over a Penn State, over Iowa. Because I think there is something to this, that playing Big Ten football, a Big Ten football schedule, not a non-conference Big Ten game, a one-off. You're playing consistent Big Ten football. If you're Oregon, they're going to have to prove that they can handle week in and week out the in the trenches strength of the Big Ten.
Well, and the Big Ten's going to have to realize the Pac-12 speed, right? Like that's what you're going to hear back and forth. The contrast.
But when it rains, snows, and cold, how does the speed play out?
Yeah, it's a little more difficult, but I mean, Oregon's not always nice weather when they play there.
True.
That's, so the weather, I don't know. I mean, the cold might affect them a little bit more, but
how about the new stadiums?
Look at who's coming back.
How about the new stadiums? How about new places to play? You never played at Wisconsin before. You're going to go deal with jump around? Like, how are you going to handle those things when those environments are going on? You're going to go play at Michigan and get the big house? How are you going to handle that? Like, I think there's something to this that it's not – they gave them Ohio State and Michigan in year one and Washington. Like, the Big Ten didn't do them any favors. They're like, here, deal with these three. You're the only team that didn't play was Penn State to get they could have given the trifecta of the three teams. But this is not like a welcome, an easy cupcake welcome schedule for Oregon to come into the Big Ten.
Right.
So, and you're right, Tommy. The other way around is going to Eugene is arguably the hardest place to play in the country. Austin Stadium arguably is the toughest place to play in America. So 100%, it's the other way around too, that Big Ten teams have to go to Oregon and deal with playing in front of that crazy crowd.
Yeah, but like you like to say, they play in front of crazy crowds every week in the SEC. They play in front of crazy crowds pretty much every week in the Big Ten.
They do?
Yeah. There's five of the schools are biggest places to play in the country. I mean, it's the same. Going to Penn State is the same as any SEC school. Going to Ohio State is the same as any SEC school. It's bigger. There's more people. It's loud. It's deafening. It's all the same. And the weather stinks, and the trip there is harder.
The weather, I'll give you, but the heat of the South is a problem as well.
Yeah,
want to go play in September in Louisiana? Enjoy that.
It's fine. It's hot everywhere too. I think we make too much of this in the media, and I know the book doesn't factor it in nearly as much as some people like to think.
What?
It's
college football and college basketball. Home field is two of the most important things that I use as a handicap is home field and home court. It's really hard to play on the road in college.
In college basketball, more so than college football. For sure.
I think in both. I think it's really hard to play in both. I mean, I've seen good Ohio State teams go to Iowa and lose. I've seen,
no doubt.
I've seen Iowa teams go to Iowa State and lose. I've seen Nebraska teams that have been, not great fight at home and be decent. I mean, I just think home field is huge. Going to Eugene.
Where did the media put the other Pac-12 teams in that poll? Like is Oregon's 2? Where's the next one? Washington, where?
USC 6. Washington 10
is below Rutgers.
Yeah, Rutgers could be pretty good this year. Their defense is really good.
Wow, I guess everybody left Washington.
Yes, Washington has a big turnover. Yeah, Washington,
including the coach. Right?
Yes, everything left. Yeah,
everything's gone.
Coach is gone.
Wow,
quarterback gone. Receiver's gone. Like Washington's got a big rebuild ahead of them.
Man,
but I mean, like, look at UCLA. UCLA is 15.
I mean, I'd argue 10. Wisconsin should probably be ahead of USC.
Probably. We'll see. But I mean, this is where, from a UFC standpoint, USC's been talking all about their defense. USC is saying, people all talk about our offense, but they think their defense is good enough to hang in the Big Ten. We're going to find out real quick.
Well, I think that's what ultimately hard trips, hard places to play, and all that other stuff. Oregon's season is going to be determined by their defense.
Well, how about the travel? I mean, it's a lot of travel for the West Coast teams.
It is a lot of travel. Do they have back-to-back roadies in that Oregon schedule?
Oh, yeah. They play at Oregon State and UCLA. That's
okay. So
West Coast
trips. They don't have back-to-back roadies
in the conference. Yeah.
Okay.
In the conference, but they don't. But they play. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to go to, you go to Michigan, you come back for Maryland, you go to Wisconsin, you come back for Washington. Like that November schedule is not easy.
No.
So they play 2 back-to-back home games.
Eastern time zone, back home, Illinois Western time zone. At Michigan, Eastern time zone, TBD.
Mm-hmm.
Back home, West Coast. Wisconsin, Central time zone. I mean, they travel every time zone, every week. I mean, they're going to be all over the place. The first 4 weeks is minimum. But, man, that's they should be 5-0 going into that game, though.
To Ohio State?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be. I mean, Oregon's a rivalry game. I mean, that's always going to be.
Yeah.
So Oregon State's always going to be a rivalry game. So you never know on that. Oh, the Red Sox. Thank you. Cora took it. Okay. That rumor mill came out this morning. Alex Cora has said that he was not going to negotiate a new deal with the Red Sox in season, but that changed. So he did. That's smart. All right. Red Sox took care of him. That was smart to get Alex Cora. Thank you, Lamb. Appreciate that. Why the under for Washington? No coach, no quarterback, no skill players. They lost everything. So they're going into the Big Ten, not the way Oregon's going into the Big Ten. Oregon's going into the Big Ten with a lot of momentum. They're going to be a really good team. Really good team. I look, we'll do Iowa tomorrow, but I'm psyched to see what's going to happen with, I think, the Hawkeye schedule and the Hawkeye team, their defense, their offensive line. They're going to play smash mouth football in the Big Ten, and we'll see if the Pac-12 schools can handle it, if they're comfortable with it. I'm not so sure they're going to be. One more college story. This is wild. Scholarship limits are going up in college sports. We knew this would be take effect. We knew there was a chance this could happen, but I don't know if we thought it was going to be this much. The NCAA is going to increase football to 105 scholarships. Basketball is going to go to 15, which is not going to be that big of a bump, but it will be nice for some. But baseball is going to 34 scholarships. That's an increase of 22.3 scholarships. College baseball has the potential to be better than minor league baseball. You might see kids not go into the draft and not go play pro baseball and really stay in college for a long time because of NIL, with 34 scholarships available. Softball, 25 scholarships for women's softball and 18 for volleyball. But baseball and softball, Dave, are going to see a massive influx of money from a scholarship standpoint.
Does this mean no more walk-ons?
It's a good question. 105 scholarships would mean there's some walk-ons, but this, I feel like I'm going to be talking about Bear Bryant back in the day, because Bear Bryant, I mean, Nick Saban's gone, but Bear Bryant's third string quarterback would start on 90% of the teams across the country when Bear Bryant was playing. So, like, if you want to go play at Texas, you can go play at Texas and sign, and you can be, a Manning and go and sit and not have your career be ruined because you just go ahead and play behind and you're making a lot of money in NIL and you're all good.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to increase, one, the competition. Two, it's going to make it rising tide raises all boats, right? Like, there's going to get opportunities for kids to go on scholarship to places where they probably wouldn't have been able to go. But with that comes, there's still only 9 positions on a baseball field. There's still only 11 positions.
Dave, you can build a full bullpen now. That was always the problem in college
Correct.
baseball.
No, you can do all of that.
You can have 5 starters all on scholarship. This is on full ride scholarships. What's 0.3 of a scholarship, SoCal? Baseball had 12.7 scholarships. You had to break it up to keep. It was rare to ever have a full ride baseball scholarship.
Right.
22.7 or 0.3 is because 12.7 is what the current allotment is on college baseball. Think about teams being able to literally double their scholarship allotment that they have right now in college baseball. The College World Series might be really fun in a couple of years.
Oh, it has been really fun. I think it'll
but these are kids who leave school because they get drafted, and they leave because they want to go play and pursue a dream to get paid and get first round money, second round money, whatever it is, get signing bonuses to kind of get that full influx of money. Now they're going to be on full ride scholarships as a reliever, as a closer. This is huge.
Yeah, no, that's going to happen. That's good. The minor leagues got to be a little bit concerned.
100%.
Because that's going to take away a big talent pool from there. And the number of scholarships is huge. Tilo understands. His kid went to play baseball somewhere. The coaches had to divide up 12 and a half scholarships for a 25 or 30 person roster. So the top 3 starters got a full ride. So now it's down to 9.5. And you give 2 kids 50%.
Yeah.
And then you give 8 kids a third, meaning it costs $50,000 a year to go to school there. Well, I gave you $16,000 in scholarship money, and you're on the hook for the other 34. So now it's going to help families and stuff in that regard. I don't know. This is going to be the SEC will have an even tighter vice grip on baseball now. Jonathan C. Maybe I don't know. I mean, if you can go to scholarship and stay close to home and have your parents go see you play, maybe you will. I think this helps the bottom conferences too.
100%.
It makes the quality of play better. You don't have to go to the SEC to play baseball. This is going to be a disaster.
That's the
biggest.
Yes, that's it.
Youth sports is going to. I mean, I got one more to go through it all, and I'm going to have to learn all this again because this has all changed. You know, you had conversations with coaches about different things, and you had one set of rules, and now there's no rules. They got scholarships, they got NIL, they got this, they got that. I wonder who's paying for college if you're playing a sport.
No one's going to pay for college if you're good. I mean, the beautiful thing is that it's going to be, there's 105 football scholarships now. So what this does is destroys the FCS. Like one AA football is going to get just completely killed, because if you're a walk-on or a starter or someone you can, hey, like for instance, Nebraska's renowned for their walk-on program. It's what they do. There's kids that play 7-on-7 football in Western Nebraska all the time, and they're not fully up to speed. They're talented, but they're not big enough. Weight rooms weren't good enough. Training tables weren't good enough. So they go to them and say, hey, look it, you come here, spend 2 years lifting, working your tail off, and on your junior year, we'll put you on scholarship because there'll be an opening for you and you'll be ready. They don't have to do that now. They can just take the kid. They can just say, we got a scholarship for you.
Yeah,
come
but
here.
The thing is, they're not going to take that kid. They're going to take another 4-star, 5-star that will come.
If they can get them, that's the problem. They can't get them. They can give them a scholarship now and put them on and have them be there, where instead the kid might transfer out and go to South Dakota State or go to UNI or go somewhere, in that general area to play. Right. To play.
So the movement, I think, is going to get worse because everybody's going to be on the same deal.
Correct.
Right? Well,
scholarships will be, yeah.
I'm taking away your scholarship because I'm giving it to another kid who I know is going to play. Thank you for your service. Good luck. Like, it's a game. It's a business.
Yes.
It's
100%.
not a game anymore. It is 100% a business now. And the sooner that they realize that as the kid and the family, I mean, the game's changed. Look at that. I mean, volleyball tripled it from 6 to 18.
No. It went up to 6. The parentheses is the addition.
What they added
because football is 85 right now, so it's going to 105, which is a gain of 20. Basketball is 13, going to 15, gain of 2. Baseball is 12.7, now 34, gain of 22 and 0.3. Okay. Softball is 13. So the two biggest ones, baseball and softball, are getting the most.
I mean, that's tremendous.
Enormous amount of money from a scholarship perspective, and it makes it so interesting to see how the coaches are going to handle this, because you love watching the Women's College World Series.
Oh, I love it.
Omaha has been an unbelievable experience that everybody should go to as a sports fan once, to go to the College World Series for baseball. And now, I mean, look at Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes goes from pitching at LSU, number 1 pick in the draft, all-star game starter, rookie of the year, pretty much a lock, and potentially Cy Young winner. Like, we could see more and more kids stay in school longer because of NIL money. And because, I mean, look at his girlfriend, Livy Dunn. She's gone back to LSU. She's going back for another year because she has another year of eligibility. She wants to go be part of LSU gymnastics because she makes a ton of money outside of gymnastics, but she needs to be a gymnast to get all those deals.
Go to class in that situation?
God, no. She's a multimillionaire with a boyfriend's going to be a multimillionaire. No.
So she's not going to like, audio 204. Like, she's not coming to your class.
213. No. Audio announcing 213. She's not coming to my class. No, they have no desire. And look, all they do is keep themselves academically eligible. That's all that matters. But she gets to go on TV and gets a lot of free publicity from LSU on every billboard. And she does all sorts of NIL deals because she's a gymnast, and she's going to ride that for as long as she can stay on that train. And she'll get bounced off and eligibility's gone. But how much money is she going to make this year? So college baseball players, because of NIL, in the South in particular, like in different pockets around the country, LSU, Texas, Alabama baseball players are big time athletes.
Right.
They're not national, but they're big time athletes where they are. And they're going to be able to stay and make a ton of money for that local car dealership and make a ton of money from the local whatever and bar chain or, whatever the big company in town is, In Omaha, it's the fact that they've got ConAgra. So you can negotiate. You can be the face of Hershey's. You can be the face of every brand, the Nabisco brand, every cracker that comes out of the country is based out of Omaha, Nebraska. So they get all these different NIL deals.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's going to be so fascinating to watch how this impacts college sports. Because 105 scholarships, again, we haven't had that since the day of Bear Bryant. 105 football scholarships is they cut it down for a reason.
Right. Well,
unbelievable.
I think it's going to affect the NIL money now, right? Like now the NIL money's not going to be there because they're just like, you got a scholarship. What else do you want? It's going to separate the top. The top is going to get it. But like now they can say to the kid, you're just another scholarship player on the team. You're the second string, third string. Now the competition to play and get the money is going to be vicious. It's going to be tough.
Well, that's fair. I can see that. Yeah. I mean, there are schools that do team-wide NIL. So they say this brand gave us X number of dollars to represent their company. So the entire team is getting it. So I know that happened for Creighton University basketball 2 years ago,
right?
Where there was somebody who came in, wrote a big check, and the team broke it up as to who was going to get it. They tried to flatten it out. Everybody got the same amount of money,
right?
But
I mean, that's a challenge for a coach.
Oh,
that's just, you got to. Now it's hard enough to just coach and do the X and O's and the practices and the drills and all this other stuff. You got to worry about why this kid's upset, or now everybody's on scholarship, so you've leveled that.
Your playing time comment is very accurate because the more you play, the more you're a star, the more teams are going to more people are going to want to have you represent them.
Yeah.
And have them be on your, pay you to be part of their brand. So playing time does factor. If you don't play, nobody knows who you are.
No.
And thus the money will be less.
Oh my.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating to watch how that unfolds. Time for the Circa Sports Pro Football Team of the Day. Guys, we're only a couple of days away from heading to Reno. Friday, 2:30 Pacific to 4:30 Pacific. We're going to be at the Ultimate Contest Weekend at Sparks, Nevada, which is the Circa Sports location in Reno. Come see us. We will be live. If you guys have not heard about why we're going up there, the Circa Sports Million in Survivor, $6 million guaranteed, 5 games against the spread each and every single week. Survivor is one winner every week. Win and advance. For more information, go to circasports.com. You must be in Nevada to enter, but we have ways of making it so you can play anywhere. If you are coming in, though, and need help, contest offers are available for rooms. If you guys go and contact, email info@circasports.com. 25% for one entry off a night stay at Circa the D or the Golden Gate, all the way up to a 3-night complimentary stay at Circa for the full house, which is 15 entries, 5 in the millions, and 10 in Survivor. For more information there as well, you can go to circasports.com as well. Our Circa Sports NFL team of the day today, Dave, the Colts. 22 on our list. Indianapolis Colts win total is 8.5. What will year 2 look like for Anthony Richardson? Got hurt last year. Big arm quarterback, big body quarterback, but the injury, he had 2 of them within one shoulder injury that ended his season. Everyone's curious what they're going to look like. 8.5 seems a little high for the Colts at first blush, no?
I am, due to our powwow this morning and calls, I'm looking at the Colts schedule for the first time right now. We briefly looked at Houston, but there's the schedule right there. I got all the spreads pulled up.
Okay. What's the line for Indy hosting Houston game 1? Good game in the South right out of the gate.
2.5 home point dogs.
Wow. Houston's favored over Indianapolis. Hello.
As they should be, no?
Man, that's a lot of respect. That's a lot of respect.
I mean, there's a lot of people have Houston in the AFC Championship.
Huh. Green Bay on the road, week 2.
5-point dogs.
That's a loss. Home for Chicago.
They're 1.5 point favorites.
How about that game? Home for Pittsburgh.
Should we go to that game?
Are they home dogs in their first 3 home games?
No, they're favored by a point against Pittsburgh. They're favored by 1.5 against Chicago.
Okay.
And they're favored by 1 against
by
Pittsburgh right now.
kickoff. Are they favored in those games in your mind?
If they look bad against Houston and then go to Green Bay and lose, they're home favorites in Chicago. But depending how the Steelers start, that game could be pick 'em. Hard to believe the Steelers would be favored. I don't know.
Really?
Again, I don't know what to make of the Steelers. We're just standing.
All right, back-to-back road games. There. Back-to-back conference road games, or division road games, rather. Jacksonville, Tennessee.
2.5-point dogs, 2.5-point favorites.
At Tennessee, they're favored?
Yes. Tennessee's regarded as probably the worst team in the AFC.
Really?
Yeah, Tennessee's bad. We already went through their schedule.
Worse than the Patriots? Yeah, but their win total is 6.5.
Second. Where Patriots worse.
Okay, I was going to say, wait, what? Yeah. I was like, Titans, I mean, they've got Will Levis. They've got a couple of wide receivers.
Back to us for the time, for the thing, for the camera, for later, so we don't get in trouble.
So we don't get in trouble.
All right.
So the win total is 8.5. So where are we at here through 6 weeks? 2-4?
2-4, 3-3.
I think 2-4, and I think they might be worse than that. I'm not so sure they win 2 games of the start. They could lose to Houston, lose to Green Bay, beat Chicago, lose to Pittsburgh, lose to Jacksonville, lose to Tennessee. They might be 1-5.
Oh my, they're not going to be 1-5.
Okay,
I mean that would be terrible. Start everything bad.
Home for Miami.
Don't they always play them tough?
Oh, they're at home, but yes. I mean, but it's Miami with the speed on turf. I'll take Miami. Houston, Minnesota, back-to-back road games again.
They're 1-point dogs to Miami.
Okay.
They can win that game. At Houston, 5-point dogs. They're losing there.
At Minnesota.
Pick them. Good number.
All right, let's say they win. Let's say they win that game. Buffalo at home.
4.
Loss.
Losing
at New York, at the Jets.
They're only 3-point dogs to Buffalo.
Yeah, overvaluing home field for sure.
At the Jets, 4.5 dog.
Loss.
Outside, loss.
Home versus Detroit.
Loss.
Home at the
they're 2-point dogs.
At the
They're
Patriots.
Under a field goal at home against Detroit. That might go up to 3.
I've got them at the break through 13 games. I have them at 3-10.
Whoa. I think 5.
I don't think they're going to be good.
Reasonable.
I don't think Colts are going to be good at all this year.
Patriots.
Yeah, 3 wins. I got them at 3 wins. So then we go to the last half. It's at Denver, Tennessee, home for the Giants, home for Jacksonville. Now they can win 3 of those games to get to 6. They can win at Denver. They can beat Tennessee at home. They can win at the Giants, and they can win against Jacksonville. They could go 4-0 there to get to 7 wins.
Favored. Yeah.
Yeah, I got them at 7 wins for the year, under 8.5.
Give the boys and girls a poll to vote on right now.
84% on the first poll. Woo, wow.
Over under 8.5 wins. What's the juice? 8
pretty flat.
-1 to 18 to the under right now.
Pretty flat.
Pretty flat.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 115 to the under.
Yeah, nobody looks at those polls. They keep doing them though.
Just gonna talk radio talks about them. Let's see. Colts on FanDuel, it's 104 minus 104 to the over, minus 118 to the under.
Yeah, on 8.5.
On 8.5.
What's Butchie got? See if Butchie's still watching the show. What's the ceiling? I mean, if everything goes right,
9.
Everything with
9?
That schedule. 9. I was going to say 10.
I think 9.
So one number, if everything goes right, is the only number.
I'm with Whitrock. I don't see 10. I think 9's the ceiling.
Is anybody going to vote over? This will be drastically, overwhelmingly.
Where's my Colts hat? I got my Colts hat. Don't worry. I couldn't wear. I was gonna wear the Whitrock's Iowa hat today, and I couldn't wear it because SportTrade.
I need a Colts hat. I don't have anything Colts.
Never I have a Colts hat. Steelers.
You got a white one or a blue one?
I got a blue one.
Yeah, I got to get a blue one.
6 to 10 wins, Jeff Benny. Yeah, I could see 6 to 10 wins. Sure, I don't see 10 though.
Yeah, but of 8.5, 8, 7, 6 win 9. If you think 9's the top, that's the
Hey
only
Tommy, where's the quarterback that won 9 games last year for the Colts?
Well, he's playing, isn't he?
No, Richardson's back. He's their quarterback.
He played a bunch of those games, did he not?
No, he got hurt week 4. He's gone the whole year. Richardson blew his shoulder out week 4.
That was week 4?
Yeah. And then Minshew came in and played the majority of those games.
Man, oh man.
Minshew's not playing. Now Minshew's not playing for the Raiders here in town.
Yeah, Butchie's got 8.5 flat too. But under. I think it's under.
Yeah, I think it's under too. I'm low in the Colts. I don't.
Are they the second best team in the division?
Ooh.
Or third? It's Houston, Jacksonville, them?
See, I don't know what to do with Jacksonville. I overvalued them the last 2 seasons, and so I got to be officially out on Jacksonville. Like,
boy, you're really breaking up with Emerson completely now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. AOWN, I agree with you. Richardson is better. He's a walking injury. The way he plays, he won't play 17 games. He just won't. Like, he's too physical. He likes contact too much. Got hurt already. I mean, you have a running quarterback in the NFL. Like, these guys get hurt a ton. So Houston, number 1. Number 2, I don't know, to be honest. I would put Jacksonville there by default. But, I mean, the Titans, new coach. Let's see what they do.
The Colts could go 4-2 in the division. They go 4-2 in the division. They go over the season wins, no? At best, I'm talking top.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Sure. Okay.
Right. They lose once to Houston and once to Jacksonville. And they sweep Tennessee and then, split the other 2 games. That's 4 wins in the division. 4-2 keeps them in the equation to make the playoffs. Did they make the playoffs?
No. 1 team only from that division.
Oh, that's division winner only.
Yeah,
no wild card.
No wild cards coming out of there.
Okay.
Not with the West and what the NFC and what the AFC East is going to look like.
Ooh.
Houston, Colts, Jags. I could flip it and be okay.
See hat.
You can go Houston, Jags, Colts. I'm okay with that too.
I'm down on Jacksonville.
I am too. The back tattoo. The back tattoo is bad. Let's all just admit the back tattoo for Anthony Richardson is not good. It's not good.
I didn't see it.
We talked about it. You remember that? He went under. Were you off that day?
Oh, no. What is it?
It's just all, who knows? It's just he had an 8-hour back tattoo under anesthesia.
That's right. I remember that now that you
I forget what he actually got, but it was some ridiculous, huge, dumb thing.
The back tattoo. Good to see Pierre in the cut here in the chat. We'll be on live in the shop tomorrow while him and Dad are cutting hair.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I don't personally understand it, but I'm down on the Colts. I'm not. To me, I think under 8.5 would be my play on Indianapolis.
Son of a, I mean, I looked down and see something and I literally jumped. I jumped not because of Thomas
Sonic.
Hankley.
If anybody
winning the division,
what are you doing? Anybody get a BVB tattoo? You come on the show. Okay. That's an automatic. You have a BVB tattoo. I'm just saying, if anybody ever gets a BVB tattoo, you're on the show. 100%. You're on the show that day. There's no debate.
Hired, for goodness. What are you talking about? You get to come on the show. You can damn well guarantee you'll get a hat.
Oh, yes.
Like, you're on the show for sure. A BVB tattoo. Where would you even get one?
Anywhere. What do you mean? Where do you get one? Any tattoo person? What part of the body? Where would I get a BVB tattoo? I would probably get it on. I'd probably get it
underarm right here.
No, I already have 2 there.
I know there.
I 2 there. I probably would get it there. I probably get it there on my butt, on my arm, outside of my arm.
Damn, bro.
That's probably where I'd get it on my left arm if I ever got it.
Gators have a BVB tattoo.
Nobody does. No one has. Nobody does. I would be stunned. That would be.
Come on, bro.
Come to the Steelers game, Dave. People want you to go to Indy.
We might be able to make that work. We know some guys in Indy. We could get into the game. I've never been. Have you ever been to a game in Indianapolis?
I've been in Lucas Oil. I've never been to a game there.
Big Ten championship?
No, I was there for, there's multiple conventions I've been to in Indianapolis.
Did they host that? But in a football game?
No, I've never been to a football. I've been in the stadium, never for a football game.
Okay.
I've been at Lucas Oil Stadium. I've walked around the stadium, been in the stadium, never been in the stadium for a game.
My wife is not going to be happy with me, but I'm going to have to put that on the radar. September 28th, flying to Indy for what? Steeler game. You're what? Well, we're going to do the show from Indy on Monday. How about that?
Brigade Proxy Service Pro Football Story of the Day. If you guys want to join the Brigade Proxy Service, it's 702-570-8255. Looking forward to seeing a bunch of you guys who are emailing and texting about coming in August. We can't wait to see all of you. It is definitely time to plan. If you're coming to the show on Friday, okay, let us know the time you're coming in. This is in Sparks, Nevada. If you're coming in from Oregon, Northern California, Montana, you're driving down to sign up for the contest, make sure you text us 702-570-8255. Tell us when you'll be at the book, and we will meet you and get you signed up and taken care of for either Million or Survivor for Circa. Sparks, Nevada is what you're going to put into your GPS for that. We will be there coming up from 2:30 to 4:30 live for our show. You can also go and email thebvbshow.com. There's a whole email form. You fill it out, send us an email saying, guys, I'm coming in this time, either in Sparks, Nevada or in August to
Legends Bay Casino.
Legends Bay Casino. Thank you.
That's that. I mean, if you put Sparks, I'm not going to be out in the corner waiting for you. It's the Legends Bay Casino in the Circus Sportsbook. Come by, say hi. I just looked down on the chat and I saw that Chris Leon, Dave, saw you at the Bucks game. Didn't want to bother you. Big fan, big win today. You're never bothering me, Chris. If you guys see me out, I'm the Yenta that likes to say hello and likes to hear the story, where you found the show, where you watched the show. We're finding out from people that email thebvbshow.com. We took a text today, hey, missed you in Chicago, found you after you guys were there. My first question is, well, thank you. And then two, how do you watch the show, listen to the show, consume the show? Because we're trying to build a case for, continuing to do the show. So we need to know how you do it. And you're never bothering me. Just take it. Sometimes, Matt, you might be bothering him. He's doing 100 things. He's got 18 tabs open. He's talking, walking, looking down.
Not when I'm in public, though. Not when I'm in public. If you stop me in public, you see me at a game, like, it was wild. Like when I was there with TJ and his wife, Cecilia, and it was me, Amanda, Cecilia, and TJ, and a guy just randomly walked up and was like, I can't believe you're in my section. I watch BBB every day. Like, that was just totally random and very cool to have that happen. So when I'm at a game or in public, I'm never too busy. I'll always talk.
For sure.
Just know that I might be life happens. Okay. Things are going on. So if you walk up to me, a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. You might walk into the middle of something and I might be like, hi, great to meet you, but I got a fire going out right now. They got to go put out. I got a 10-year-old girl is really pissed off at me right now. I got to figure out what's happening. So just so you guys know, life happens, and I don't sugarcoat and play fake. You'll see me in my real form, how I really am, and sometimes I'm really happy, sometimes I'm really stressed. Just depends upon the day as to how's going on. But
if I'm out and about, and I'm with any of my kids, you 100% have to come up and say
embarrass the hell out of them.
No. You just have to come up and say hello, because nobody believes me in this house that we're doing what we're doing and that people actually do this. So please come up and say, hey, I watch you and Matt every day. I'm a big fan of the BVB. Hey, I want a hat. Hey, blah, 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 blah. I'm from here. I'm from there. Please do it, because it's validation. That's what we need.
True. And that is true. If I am doing audio equipment for a live show, that is true. You might
definitely not a good time.
You might leave me alone.
Everything hooked up.
Yeah. Just let me get the show fixed, and then we can talk.
We can talk.
Before that, tough. Yes. Chris, first time watching live, Alexa every night. That's awesome. Very cool.
Alexa?
Well, you can do that, right? Because we're on Spotify. So if you say, or an Apple Podcast, if you say, hey, I won't say because all your things are gonna go off. But you say
what?
Alexa,
right?
Say those two words together. Hey, and then her name.
Okay.
Play Bostonian versus the Book on Spotify, or play Bostonian versus the Book on Apple Podcasts. Bam, we pop in. We play.
I love that.
Yeah. So if you have and you could do it too with Siri if you have an Apple device. I might
go to Best Buy and do it this afternoon.
So if you have a Siri device, sorry. See, I told you. I was trying not to have everyone's devices go off. But if you say that, you say the word hey and then Siri.
Right.
Stop. She just said, See, they're always listening. They're always listening. Just FYI, you say the name of the show and then on the platform as to what you want to listen to, and it plays it right away. I do it in my kitchen all the time.
Okay.
I have one of those devices. So Alexa is Sketch. So is Siri. They're all Sketch. All of them. They're always listening.
I don't use them. Never once have I said that.
You've never used it on your phone? You have it on your phone. Once. You have it on your phone.
I know. I don't use it.
Ever. Never.
I don't know who's listening. I don't need to bother.
They're listening anyway. Whether you like it or not, they're listening. You have it on your phone. Yes, it's all tech and sketchy, and you are bugging your own home. It's absolutely completely true. It's 100% the fact, but you have no choice because everyone's doing it. So they're all still listening. They're everywhere. You work in a casino. You know that you don't like to be spied upon. You've been spied on your whole life.
Whole life is under surveillance. Everything I've done.
Absolutely understand. We'll do Miami later, but Tua's not going to practice. Tua's doing the same thing that Jordan Love's doing. Tua's there in Miami, but he's not practicing because he wants a new deal. Is this going to be the new way? Like it's a holdout, but it's not a holdout. Is I'm going to show up, I'm going to be there, but I'm not practicing. I'm just going to physically be there. So I'm going to do the Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Well, how do you feel about Tua as a quarterback? Do you think he'll ever live up to the hype?
I like Tua a lot. I do. I think he's very accurate. I think he overcame that shot and that injury and stuff. And now I just think, I don't want to say he's beat up, but he's closer
one hit to the end.
Right. Like how many more of those can he take and still come back?
I think one more and he's done.
But I think when healthy, we got to learn how to play in the cold.
But would you extend him
and win? You got to learn how to go to Buffalo and win. You got to learn how to go do all those things. But when their offense is rolling, we saw it last year. I mean, they put up a lot of points. I like them. You don't like them?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He's a warm weather quarterback with arm strength questions and a problem with his head. Like Mike McDaniel said today, it's, quote, very fluid. We're taking it day by day. Today, I expect it to be kind of like OTAs, and we'll move on from there. Meaning he took 2 snaps during drills today on 11-11, handed the ball off to running backs both times, and then he was in the 7-on-7 passing drills. And that's it. That's all he did. I mean, he led the NFL in passing yards, 4,624, 29 touchdowns, played all 18 games. But we're talking about Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, $212 and $275 million extensions. Would you give Tua $275 million?
I can't relate to all this money. Like I don't understand.
Just forget the money. Would you commit that much of your salary cap to a player who may be seriously hurt and not be available for you?
It's a tough ask.
It is. It's a tough ask. I agree.
We have to, I think for Miami's success, they have to run the ball more and keep him protected. Control the ball more is going to be a recipe for their success, because I like Miami's defense. I think, I don't know. We'll get to them in season wins and all the other stuff, but that division is going to be fantastic. There's stories in everywhere except the Patriots. There's not a real.
There's still story of the Patriots. Drake may look great today.
Everybody looks great in the shorts.
No, those contact drills today. What are you talking about? Patriots were going at it today. May looked great. But look, again, Drake May can win the job. I'm telling you, they're winning or I'm going to sit here and tell you they're winning 5 games all year long. Winning 5. They're winning 5. They're winning 5. They're winning 5. Patriots are winning 5, if not more. They're winning 5 games. Okay, just telling you. Okay, watch it. Watch their defense. Watch Mayo.
We'll be watching.
Watch it. Everyone's going to go.
Changing the name of the show.
Why didn't we see this? Why didn't we talk about the Patriots? It's in with the Red Sox. I told you. I told you in the Red Sox. I told you in the preseason. Go over their win total. They're going to make the wild card.
The name of the show.
They're going. What do we change for? We didn't change for anything. Why do we change it? But 3, third wild card. Boston Red Sox. Said it in the preseason. I'm saying it again.
I know.
Red Sox are going to win the third wild card. They're going to, and the Patriots are winning 5 games, if not more. And it could be 6. It could be more.
They're not winning more than 5. 5 is
okay.
the number.
Just telling you, young studs play. You play great defense. Matthew Judon stays healthy. As long as that defense stays healthy, they're a top 5 defense in the game. Cannot wait to watch that defense. Tua, I don't know if I'll give him $275 million. I don't think I'm doing it. It's a lot of money. I don't think I'm doing it. All right, baseball. Giants, Dodgers. Glass now back on the hill. 1-8 in this game.
Who in the hell is going to bet the Giants today?
Nobody.
Like, this will be.
It's kind of light, no?
Well, for the Glass now start, but they don't score when he pitches. This is a situation where you could end up with the Skenes game. And pitch well and lose. But this will be, my God, this is going to roll into tonight. This will be the book's biggest decision of the day. The Pirates win. Pirates close as a dog today, I guess, because Perez was, wow. Okay. And since he beat Atlanta, so maybe it won't have a lot of parlay. Well,
Wednesdays
tied at 4-4. Wow.
Yeah. Wednesdays are my second least favorite day. I hate Sunday, but I hate Wednesday too, betting baseball. All the getaway days, it's a wonky day. Cole gonna finally get a Yankee win against the Mets.
This is absurdly priced. The beginning of the show, and if you didn't see it, you're joining late, go back and watch it because they can't hit in the middle of the lineup. They got the lowest production on the 4 spot in Major League Baseball? The Yankees, minus 170 against a lefty and Manaea, who's been pitching decent. The Mets are winning games. That's a dog price that I'd be interested in.
It's the worst 4th batting position in baseball by far.
Hitting out of the cleanup spot.
Yep. Wells is batting 4th.
Yankees. Come on. That's a dog right there. Might have to get the City Connect out for the Mets tonight for the SportTrade show. That's
flexing. It's flexing day.
Please. What is this price? What the hell are we doing?
Texas minus 270.
They win by 1 yesterday, so the run line wasn't the answer yesterday. You're gonna have to lay the wood.
No thanks.
You don't like laying the wood?
No thanks. Not with the Rangers. No thanks. No, Evaldi's
dropping the wood.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's brutal on that. I don't know about that.
Are they watching the show? Are the Crab guys watching the show? The Crab boys?
I haven't seen or heard yet. I don't know. They might have.
Damn it!
I don't know. They might. They could be, but I haven't seen or heard yet. So maybe it's one of those things I'll get after the show's over. I'll be alerted that the Crab guys are watching the show. This last topic is only because I lived in Nebraska. Nebraska, for those of you who understand the Midwest, you know that the small population states use property tax as a major generator of revenue. It's a major issue in places like Iowa and Nebraska. They can't stand how high their property taxes are. So Nebraska now is trying to sell the idea that sports betting is going to fix their property tax issue, that legalizing sports gambling in a state that has 3 million people and more cows than people, that's a good idea.
That's fact, right?
Well, Iowa's pigs, Nebraska's cows.
There's more cows than people in Nebraska.
Yeah, there's more cows than people in Nebraska, and there's more pigs than people in Iowa. And you're going to flip around and tell me that this is a fix? Like, haven't we already done this before where politicians have said, hey, tax revenue, let's legalize sports betting, and we're going to offset in the budget. We're going to put this number, so we'll drop down the property tax. So you guys get all excited because property taxes, you hate them. So you don't like gambling, but we're going to give you some relief by legalization of sports betting. This is really dumb.
Yeah.
This is not going to work.
No. But they didn't listen. They'll use this to get it through and build public sentiment. Yep. I think it's called lobbying.
100%.
I think that's what this is, like when you tell a story and let it run and put it in places, and it's either that or payoffs. I think that's what lobbying is. Pay people. I'm not quite sure. It's a vague term. That lobbying term.
Guys get voted out of office. That's what happens with Rock. That's
right.
It. That's all that happens. And then they have to raise taxes somewhere else to make up for the lack of the money that they thought was going to come in.
Yeah.
And now your schools are being threatened. The streets are being threatened. The police, the fire department, all the things that property tax, all that money that is used in the state of Nebraska, that's where all that money goes. They use it for public service. They use it to keep the state running with the property tax. So we're going to drop the property tax, expecting that money to be there from sports betting. And when it's not,
yeah, then what happens?
Yeah, the lotto in New York is supposed to pay for schools. Didn't happen.
Yeah. How's that working out?
It's just doesn't work the way they think it's going to work. It
doesn't work the way they think it's going to work because they're telling a story to get it to go through.
Right.
Like, do you think they know and they'd rather just tell the story, or do you really think they don't know?
Both.
Not going to work?
Both.
Okay.
I think that they want it passed. They're going to tell a story. They don't really know the outcome, but they don't really care. They just want it done. Whatever happens. Let the chips fall where they may. Literally, let the chips fall where they may.
Right. Well, they did it in Nevada with the weed stuff, right? They said the weed stuff.
But that worked. That's worked.
Schools.
That's worked. That money's huge. The weed stuff is delivered. The weed stuff's there.
It is, but the money ain't going to the schools.
Well, that's a different story. The money is there. Where the money is going is a whole different story. But the money's there. They've raised the money. The numbers were right. It's just where they're sending the money is the question. That's the issue in Nevada.
Yeah.
They're making, their tax on cannabis is stupid, how much money they're making, but where they're sending it, that's a question. Quick better to book.
Twins just walked off.
Who did?
The Twins just walked off the Phillies.
I had the over for the Pirate game. That missed because no runs for the Cardinals whatsoever. Somehow Perez was good today. The other bet is over 8 Miami and Baltimore. A rookie going for the Orioles today. A rookie went for the Marlins yesterday.
It went over yesterday, right? It went over 8.5. It finished at 6-3.
Yep.
Yeah, this is probably a bet. McDermott, I have to do a little research on him.
Rookie. First start ever.
First start in the bigs?
Yeah, rookie coming up. Never pitched before.
Ooh.
Not his numbers aren't good. This is a need for them because of the injuries. They don't have anybody to throw.
Right. For
Baltimore.
It's just weird. There's a lot of people dealing with a lot of injuries and stuff the week after the All-Star break. It's a weird situation. By the way, the Red Sox are losing 8-1 in a third inning.
Yep. Getting crushed today. But the Rockies are always difficult at home. I have the team total for the Red Sox over 5.5. So we'll see what they do there. It's the bullpen's going to come in and it's just going to be, who knows? It could be throwing it could be like 20-10 by the end of that game.
Right.
That could be a beer league softball game. But how do you feel about Miami, Baltimore?
I'd say bet it over. I'd say that's a bet.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some Offense in that game, probably by the Orioles as well, coming in knowing they got a rookie starter. They got to bring their bats today for that. If you guys are watching live on YouTube and Twitter, please do not go anywhere. If you're with us on SiriusXM channel 159 or on the Sports Grid replay, thank you for being here. Back same place, same time tomorrow. But for you guys live, bonus time starts right now. And away we go with favorite thing about today. Is what?
Favorite thing about today, a visit from Alex Kane.
That was great.
This morning, a visit over to your house and did not see the dogs or the cat. I was very excited about that. Although they barked like hell. The dog is, I was.
Both of them.
My favorite thing about today was that when you said, just come in, I'm downstairs working, and I was like, cautiously, it's like a crime. I was like opening the door. If anybody was watching me on the camera, I was like, all right, where are them dogs? Because if the dogs attacks me, I'm going to kick him right in the teeth. That was my favorite thing about today so far. We're 2 days away from Reno.
Yes.
I can't wait for those of you that are coming. For those of you that don't know about it, just come over, say hello. We're going to make a quick run to see something in the morning, ideally, and then we'll be there.
We pull that off. I'm going to be psyched. I'm actually really excited to do that.
We're doing it.
Okay. It's going to be great. I can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
So, I've never seen Lake Tahoe, so that's going to be fun. It's going to be nice.
Yeah. So if the Crabbers are watching, he's mine for a day. So we're going to take a ride and just see a big lake. So,
but a crystal clear lake, like a really cool looking lake.
Either way, I just need to see some water. I got a taste of it just seeing the rivers in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And I feel like the need to just keep drifting to water, at least right now, while it's 110 every single day. So favorite thing about today, the morning meetings.
For me, it's routine. I've realized in my older age today, I got up and started thinking just about like when I'm good and when I'm not, and the way that I am and when that I'm not. It's such an interesting thing that when you're able to structure your day in a certain way to be productive, how much more productive I am when I've got everything kind of in slots and I get it done. Like I know when I'm prepping for the show, I know when I'm doing the show, I know what I'm doing right after the show, I know when I'm going to the gym, I know when I'm going to go and pick up Madeline, like all just the ways. I'm such a creature of habit. I never knew that about myself till a couple of years ago and realized how things go. And then like when we go on Reno trips or we go on vacation, how fucked up your routine gets and you're just all out of sorts for everyone. And you're like, son of a bitch. How do I do? Oh, wow. Schilling. He honeymooned in Tahoe. Wow.
Hey,
look at that. That's cool. Very cool. Oh, we're at 8.5 some spots, Butchie. Okay. All right. So we got some movement on the over for the Orioles So I just deal with what's going to happen coming up on. Oh, really? We should carry bear spray? Really?
Leg show. Don't tell me about no bears. I don't need to see no bear. I mean, I just want to go. Oh my goodness.
I want to put my feet in the water. That's all I want to do. I just want to go there and put my feet in the water and say I've been in the water at Lake Tahoe.
This is more of a scouting trip. We're going to see where it's at, what it entails, because at some point I'm going to take the kids up there and let them see it. And that might be a fun winter getaway.
Well, for what, skiing or skating?
Well, I mean, let the kids see the snow.
Oh.
Kids love the snow. They don't.
Yeah, but it's everyone goes there now because it's getting out of the heat.
Of course.
You go swimming up there.
That's fine.
Big summertime trip. So
I saw your routine post, and that's what I was scrambling for when you hit me with favorite thing about today, because I wanted to read this.
Sure.
Because this is something that came up in my feed. You talk about the phones listening to us all the time. It's spying us all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get these things that pop up at the strangest time. Like that For You tab is like completely random now on the socials. Like it's complete, but this one was good. And I thought, this is me and Matt doing the show. And for those of you listening and being part of it, like you guys understand it too. We're always looking to better ourselves and, be aware of where our feet are and all that other stuff.
Fuck yeah.
By the way, 2 clean shows in a row. That's a hell of a streak. Do the work. it says, all right, sorry, Tyler's calling me. No, Tyler, I'm not answering the phone right now. All right, do the work. Do it when nobody's watching.
Huh.
Do it when nobody but you thinks it'll work out. Do it when everything's falling apart. Do it when everything's going great. Do it when you have every excuse not to. Do it no matter what, because your business won't build itself, your physique won't carve itself, and your goals aren't achieved with magic. Goals come with work. Work comes with resistance. Overcoming that resistance is the price that needs to be paid, not just once, not just twice, but every damn day. If you want to grow, the resistance needs to be faced. Your excuses need to be destroyed, and the work needs doing. It doesn't care how you feel or if the entire world is against you. All it cares about is that it gets done. And if you want to go to bed satisfied and proud of yourself each night, then you have no choice but to look resistance in the face, rise to the challenge, and do the thing you know you need to do.
And you don't want to do it. Give me somebody dedicated over somebody motivated any damn day of the week. Yeah. Motivation's fleeting. Motivation's a moment. Motivation is a mindset for 2-3 days. Dedication means you do it when you're tired. You do it when you're cold. You do it when you're sick. You do it because you're dedicated to doing it. And if you don't do it, you'll feel worse because of it. So I mean, 100%, I wish I learned it earlier. I wish let me correct myself. I knew all this earlier in life. I didn't do it. I didn't want to do it. I was lazy. My brain won. My brain took over. I was driven by other things, driven by ego and position and brands and market size. I was driven in a completely and totally different way. And finding that moment of, there was a post I put on Instagram a couple days ago that was about destination obsession. It's called, that you believe that the next thing will always be the one that makes you happy. The next job, the next woman, the next opportunity, everything is the next. So you're always waiting for the next one instead of obsessing over now, except to where you are and finding the happiness where you are and making yourself happy today, not tomorrow. And I was a massive victim of that. And I posted it on Instagram, and 2 guys in media said, "That's us in radio." I said, "Yep, 100%. That's been us in radio. It's all we ever did. It's all any of us ever cared about. What was happening next? What's the next spot? What's the next job? What's the next show?" Instead of making the show you do really well, kill it, destroy it, make it your own, and then watch the fruits of that happen.
Yep.
And whatever happens from that, fine. But you don't have to. If the next job never comes, you're okay because you destroyed today. You owned today. So yes, radio is all. Where am I headed next? I mean, that's all we ever did, Jimmy. If that's you, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, be careful with that obsession over radio, because anyone who's been in the broadcasting world will tell you that we obsess over everything except what we currently have. It's always what's happening later. It's never what's happening now.
Right.
And that's a sickness. It attracts us. For whatever reason in radio, it attracts this mindset of all of us.
Hey, you're doing gambling content now. That's the epitome of it. The next game, you're never satisfied with what you got.
Fair.
Never. And
you can't be, right?
Chase is constant. And the gambling can sometimes overtake all of that. You have to find different means to get that, whatever it is, that Jones for you, and that juice, because you lose too. And, you do the work.
Media losing is a weird way too, because it's such an ego blow. And I talk about all the time with people. I've talked to you about this, kind of where I was, when I turned 30, and where I was when I turned 40, and how I had to deal with the fact that I spent 10 years not being in the right mindset. I spent my 30s being fucked up, basically. And like looking back at the mistakes I made and the choices I made and the places I went and the things I accepted as being okay. And then turning 40 and going, what the fuck did I do in my life? Like, what am I doing? Like, this is not who I am. Like, why did I allow this to happen? And having to twist and turn. And, again, David Goggins is someone everyone knows of now. But 7 years ago, nobody knew who David Goggins really was. It was he just on the podcast with Joe Rogan. He had just started to come up. He just had his one book that was out. And 7 years ago, everything changed for him. But his statement about your brain being your own worst enemy and that you can't listen to your brain because your brain wants you to be safe, happy, and secure. And that's not what life is. Changed my life. Like I went, fuck, that's right. I was like, that's completely what I've done. And I've allowed that listen to my brain because I'd look down at the scale or I'd look down at my life and look down what I was doing. And I would be like, oh, I'll fix it later. Oh, it's fine. Until it wasn't. And then I had to change everything. And I've spent 7 years breaking my ass, basically working hard and working out, trying to fix that. And, everything, like I tweeted this morning, that obsession has led to the best people in my life being around me, the best show I've ever done in my life, the happiest I've been professionally ever, period. Stop, no questions asked. And being I used to apply for a job once a week. I haven't applied for a job in 2 years. Okay. It's been 2 years. Fine. Fine. I mean, but like
We're good.
I haven't shopped myself.
Right.
The way I used to shop myself. I used to think about this market and that job and this place and I move here. Oh, what do I haven't done any of that. I haven't wanted to do that. So that has been just such a wonderful thing to just take off my plate and go like, I live in Vegas. I love living here. I don't want to go anywhere.
Nope.
So this is where I live. This is where I'm raising my daughter. And my daughter loves it here and she wants to be here. And like just having that desire to want to be somewhere versus, and I'm not trying to disparage Des Moines, Omaha, Huntsville, Charlottesville, places, Manchester, Nashville, places where I've lived and I've worked. But literally I'd walk out my door and be like, this can't be it. Like this can't be where I'm going to live the rest of my life. Like I can't do this. Like this is not where I'm.
Oh, you froze right at that perfect time. Hold on. Look at that face. Boy, Mikey's going to have a field day when he clips that one. All right, come back. You're back.
So
good.
I walk out the door here. I can drive 20 minutes to a world-class event and drive back 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like people fly to our city to do all the things that they want to do. And we live here.
It's highly ironic. I got here and Vegas had no sports, no teams, seedy sports books all over, whatever, this and that. And slowly over the course of 20 years, there's a hockey team, one of my favorite sports. There's a football team. There's talk of a baseball team coming. And there's definitely going to be a basketball team here. Sports, big part of my life. Had 3 kids. Everybody said, would you consider moving here? I'd consider it, but I like it here. And we may do with what we had. And now people are coming here. I mean, we're using the proxy service to meet up people and help them with that. And it's nuts. It's nuts when you think about it full circle like that. And I don't know. I was the same way. I mean, it was always like, get the next job. And it almost killed me. I mean, all the worrying and all the shopping and all of this and all of that. Like, hey, man, do what you do and do it well. And things might happen and it might not. Accept the results. But I say to you all the time, keep doing the show. And I don't know why I was saying it. And I saw that thing and I was like, do the work. And I was just going to change the work to the show.
The show. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? It's the same idea of
same thing.
Reps, going and delivering, being your best you can be, trying to get better each day, trying to do a different type of show that is not done, do a show that is unique. Do what's, people always want to do things like other people. And I think what I love about this show that we do is that there's nothing like it. There's no show right now like what we do. Topically, structurally, how we bring on guests, who we talk to, how we talk. We can talk the most analytically nerdy inside school Vegas sports gambling content.
Yep.
And we can talk about meat curtains and somebody having,
we have,
we can talk about,
Hawk
Tua. You can talk about all sorts of things that, oysters, different types of oysters, Rocky Mountain oysters. Like you can do all the different types of things that makes the show different and separates it, I think, from a lot of the other types of shows. And some people get it, some people don't. And the people who don't get it, I'm fine with. Like, I'm not trying to convert anyone, but I want them to understand or try to watch the show. And some people come and like it, some people come and hate it. Okay, that's fine. I get it. That's fine. But I think there's a lot of people who are looking for unique types of content, and they're like, that's different. I haven't seen that before. That's kind of neat. Right. Pull-offs and car-jitsu. Absolutely. Yes. The things we're talking about. Right. All that. So thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. Tomorrow, Thursday, we'll get into some more football as we count it down. It feels like football more and more outside here in Vegas. I'm sure in your part of the world too. It's summer, but it's starting to turn a little bit. Thank you to Alex Kane and SportTrade for Well Watch Wednesday. Always a ton of fun. Looking forward to getting them coming up next week on that. He is Dave. I am Matt. We are back tomorrow for Thursday's BBB.